Good afternoon, MLB Pro family. I'm your Oakland A's GM, Scott Guessford, and today I'm with Comey, and he's going to help me talk all about the White Sox and then the Cardinals. How are you today, Comey?
Oh, it's Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock, and I haven't had a very good school day, so I'm feeling pretty ornery.
Oh,
How
good.
are
So
you?
that'll make for a good conversation here with the White Sox
Oh,
and
sure.
Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just
Yeah,
jump right.
that's
Let's
just
just
gonna
jump
be
right
a hoot.
into it and see how did the White Sox think that their 2022 season went?
Um, I mean, I can't imagine them thinking that it went well. Now we actually do have their uh, how they think it went, the write-ups and stuff. So this is what they said. Quote, 2022 went as expected. A lot of movement within the organization, trades, waiver claims, releases, etc. I have a thing called voice mod where I could like mod my voice, but the narrator one was like a poor um wasn't a very good version of like Morgan Freeman. But otherwise I would use voice mod to change the voices based on what I think these guys sound like. And I'm not
Okay.
going to try in a British accent. I'm not going to try, but I could. Maybe I will, just because,
Let's
to
wait for
throw people
Ayden
off as they
because
listen to
he's
this
from New
thing.
Zealand. Ayden's from New Zealand, so let's try something different when we get to the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, I mean, try like at least we don't have any Scottish people here. I mean, but New Zealand's close enough. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, so they had a bunch of movement. Did not allow the team to really mesh. I'd hope to finish around 500 as a quote within a quote. This is going very well. End quote. But keep the original quote. Gage, but that was never a realistic outlook. And that's what they thought about 2022.
So what would your assessment be if their 2022?
Uh, I Now, okay, so you see these things through your scout's eye, so it's incomplete
Yep.
information. Um, I have no real understanding of why they thought they were gonna or why they hoped they were gonna finish near 500. This is the team that won 61 games of 2021 and then traded their best player and decided to just rebuild and had that weird franchise swap um with Pittsburgh, where
Right.
then they also decided to trade their cores, or at least like like the nucleus, like their favorite players, and Pittsburgh won 60 games in 2022. So I, w- how I don't know why they thought they or would hope to finish near 500. 69 seems like it was like a ceiling to me because it just there's so much young untested talent here that you're gonna take your lumps in a division with the Twins and the Royals and the White Sox. Or not the White Sox, the Tigers.
Tigers. Yeah. So okay. So let's just jump right into their rotation. It may be different now than it was when he sent in the list. So what does he
Well,
project
yeah,
his
it's
starting
it's
rotation?
going to be. Yeah, it's going to be because Jeff Wallace is now in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah.
And Wallace was the projected number 2 starter behind Archie Bradley, and then Melvin Gardner, Eric Braun, and George Kirby. Now, I mean, it's not set up as they would have it, but I would think that Sandy Alcantara is probably in the conversation to be in the rotation at this point. Um, Matt Cronin is currently in the rotation. He looks like somebody who, I mean, he went 3-12 last year in Pittsburgh. He still looks pretty decent, and Chicago has more of a pitcher's park than Pittsburgh, I think. I'm kind of curious. Where is it? Where is their park? Um, oh, there it is. Yeah. They are okay. They're slightly more geared toward pitchers, but they're gonna give up jacks. They're just not going to give up doubles or triples. So it's pretty much an all or nothing park. So Matt Cronin gave up 15 homers in 92 innings. Might not bode well for Matt Cronin in Chicago. Might not. But I like Kirby. I like Kirby a lot. I think Kirby's probably the future ace of this team. After that, I'm not a big fan of their rotation as it currently stands.
Yeah, and he has Archie Bradley listed as his number one, and he came over from Milwaukee
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, no, Bradley. Actually, I like Bradley. I like Bradley. I don't like Bradley's contract, and he's 30 years old. Meaning, I mean, I guess I can't say that. I like his contract, because it depreciates. So it's 17 this year, then it's 15 million for 2024 and 2025, and then a $10 million team option in 2026. Like that's a decent contract. The buyouts of 5 million. So it doesn't bode well for this year though. And with him being, I mean, he turns 31 in August, so he'll be 33, or about to turn 33 when the 2025 trade deadline rolls around. And he might be a sunk cost because are you really going to be able to move that contract for prospects? Probably not.
Right, and if he's not really
So,
trying to compete right now, I mean, in that division, the odds are the White Sox are not going to be competitive. So you just pitch with what you got and build your minors up, or do you try to make a splash like Jonathan did over in Pittsburgh?
I mean, right now it's got to be prospect accumulation. It's because your, I mean, 69 wins. I don't know that I don't know that you reach that this year. Because the Royals are going to be markedly better, presumably.
Yeah.
Twins are going to be good. Tigers, presumably going to be all right. So if you are Chicago, I feel like you're in prospect accumulation and not exactly tanking, but you're letting the kids play. And if you're letting the kids play, then Archie Bradley does not really have a place, outside of eating some innings and being a bridge guy, but you're still going to have him 30 million for the next 2 years. And that's not particularly a great, it's like what Tampa has with Carlos Mesa. Like, yeah, he's fine. He is not what you want. He's their token bad contract. I don't know
Yeah.
what their contract system is.
Well,
I
and
wish I could see
right
what
now he
what
has
teams
like
have.
$25 million available for free agents and 33 million for extensions. So he's not hurting for money at all.
No, but other teams are.
Right.
And so like if you want to move the Bradley contract, what bad salaries are you have to take on to move that contract?
Mhm.
Like he should be in a position of power when it comes to Bradley because Bradley's a good pitcher and he pitched really well in Chicago last year. But unfortunately, the reality of the situation is that there's not much leverage to unload Bradley's contract when the time comes because the market won't bear his contract unless you're taking bad salaries.
Respect. Yeah. So I look at his bullpen and I see a Justin Jarvis flamethrower, fly ball pitcher. Kind of has stats that he might be able to start. Didn't do too well starting last year. Would you give him a shot
Um,
in your rotation if you were switching places?
you're saying Justin Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis. Now, again, this is my scout. Um, he looks like a bullpen arm to me. Yeah, he's got 4 pitches. The slider's only like slightly above average. The changeup currently is only slightly above average. but the movement and the control are league average, and he's a fly ball pitcher in a launching pad ballpark. And when he performed well last year, that was in AAA, and he had a 1.33 WHIP there with 9 homers and 66 innings pitched in AAA. He also only had 7.8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Now, granted, he's a young 23. I'm not bullish on him because I'm also somebody that if you're going to have a starting pitcher with impact, like 2 of your 3 basic pitcher ratings had better be decidedly above average. And when when movement and control are league average, that doesn't exactly bode well, especially with the ballpark they play in.
Okay, cool. So, I look at his bullpen. I don't know if he has a whole bunch in the bullpen to get you excited about. Uh,
Um,
right now he lists
mm,
as Alcantara as his closer, and I doubt that's where he'll end up being. Like you said,
yeah,
he could battle for the 5.
yeah, I feel like he should be, especially at his salary. It's weird that Alcantara's making 6.7 when he's only started 14 games in the majors. If yeah, like I feel like you kind of got to see what he is as a starter and just let him go. Um Elsewhere in the bullpen, Joey Wentz is fine, but he's another like extreme bullpen guy. And he's 25, where he has not pitched in the majors yet. So he's been a good AAA, but is he a quad A guy? They got uh what's this guy's name? Bryce Montez de Oca,
Hmm.
where he looks like he has phenomenal stuff. Maybe he's a guy who is a closer or stopper type of guy, but he's also 26. Like they have a lot of older guys who've not pitched at the big league level, which is weird considering what their past couple of years have been.
Yeah, and he's almost 27. He'll be 27 at the end of April.
Yeah, I get it if you've had a lot of arms, but I mean, there's not a lot of competition on the surface here. Now, obviously, I don't know how much turnover there was from last year, but I felt like he's somebody who probably should have gotten a role last year, and he didn't.
Yeah, so let's move over to his hitters. And like I said, when he sent this in a few weeks ago, so things have changed since. But who does he say is his starters this year?
Oh, and this will be fun because this will also be trying to piece who is taking over. Okay,
Oh,
so the original lineup, and this may still be the plan. So Steele Walker in center field leading off, Jared Stevens at second base, then Michael Conforto and right, Framil Reyes, Keibert Ruiz catching, Reyes is DHing, um, and hitting cleanup. Ryan Kerr hitting sixth at third, Chad Ricks, the left fielder, hitting seventh, Nick Allen at short, batting eighth, and Max Jacobson batting ninth with Brett Cumberland, Michael Wheelock, Freddie Galvis, Bryce Stevens on the bench. That's what their lineup looks like. I don't know if there's and so far, like they say, the biggest shot will be who will win the first base job. And that's between Jacobson and Wheelock primarily. And that's what they're going with. Now, Stevens is back in a week. Nick Allen also hurt. And he's out for 4 months, so they're gonna have a hole at shortstop. I think he's out. Is he out? Like
yeah, 4 months. Yeah,
my stuff, yeah. Like I don't know, my injuries aren't exactly updated because I'm an idiot.
mine says
So
dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, I have high ankle sprain, so I'm probably yours is probably right. Mine's not exactly correct. So, but at least the 4 months is there. So,
Yep.
I mean, you're looking at either Cameron Eden or Xavier Edwards if they feel that Edwards is ready. I would probably lean toward Edwards. He's a switch hitter who can flat out fly. He hit 260, 648 OPS in 84 AAA games last year, 375 plate appearances. Um, Eden, Eden hit, he hit, he had a 588 OPS in 120 AAA appearances, or at least in Charlotte. He was also in Milwaukee's system where he hit for a 786 OPS. Now Edwards, to me, has the advantage as a better contact hitter, a better defender, and definitely a better um a better runner. Um like Eden's fine. He projects to be an average shortstop, whereas Edwards actually right now he's a little below average, but he could play second base too. Where Eden, you're kind of locked in the shortstop. So the question is, do you let Edwards work out on the fly in AAA or in the bigs and just take the lumps, or do you give Eden a shot? I mean, I would lean Edwards, but I'm also a sucker for speed.
Yeah. Got to go somewhere, right?
Right. Well, which
For
one would
four
you take,
months.
Eden or Edwards?
I would probably take Edwards and just take a shot. And if he didn't work out after a month or so, send him back down and, go that way, or keep him up for 4 months and just see where he goes. He's 23, no power at all, but the guy flies. Like you said, he doesn't need power. Put the ball in
Yeah, and
play and
and being a switch hitter like that has value. Um, and to get him reps for the future could be, good. I do like the fact that they are pretty balanced in their lineup. Like you know, uh Keibert Ruiz is a switch hitter.
switch. Yeah.
Uh Jacobson is a righty, but Wheelock's a lefty. Stevens is a righty, Kerr's a righty. Um Reyes is a righty, but Chad Ricks is a lefty. Like Rutherford's a lefty, Bryce Stevens is a lefty, Steele Walker's a lefty, Conforto's a lefty. Like they are able to mix and match a bit more in their lineup than other teams. Uh, but again, it's a lot of untested kids who need to get time.
Time. Yep. And you got to get the at bats to see if you're going to work out. So,
Right.
um, so what is his philosophy for this year? I know, not going to win a whole bunch of game. Him and Cleveland are going to be fighting for fourth and fifth place in the Central and the better draft pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother trying for fourth place. Like I would just say, you know what, I get where I get. I mean, granted, that was my philosophy with the Rays last year. Is I get where I get because I'm not focused on winning. I'm focused on the players growing. Um, and I feel like that's got to be the philosophy for Chicago. Now they have a player I need to see because the question was asked, what players are you thinking of bringing up? And they have somebody listed who oh, there he is. Okay, so a pitcher that we missed who is currently sitting in AAA, Rich Mamaro. He's a 6'4", 200-pound, 23-year-old who's going to be out for 6 weeks. According to this, he's a young 23. He did not have a good time in AAA Charlotte last year. He was really good at Indianapolis. He was really good. He was also a reliever. Oh, I see his stamina.
Mhm.
Yeah. But he was terrible in Charlotte until he came up. Until he got hurt. I wonder what Charlotte's ballpark looks like. He went from a 2.76 ERA and 0.98 WHIP in Indy to a 1.62 WHIP and a 5.94 ERA in Charlotte. And he just wasn't good in Charlotte. Everything else about him looks good. He looks like he's going to come up and be a solid bullpen arm for them. But I gotta wonder about Charlotte's ballpark. I gotta look them up now.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking that
But
up
like
right now too myself. So, not very many
we
doubles, but
got,
lots of home runs. 1.16 home run ratio.
oh yeah, that would do it, and slightly above average for hitters. So it's not like he's gonna come into Chicago and it's going to be very different. You know, the home runs there. It's not like it is in Charlotte, but it's not like it's not an ideal pitcher's park.
Right,
Um,
exactly.
but in terms of overall philosophy, I mean, I just, you know, they're going like just play the kids, just play the kids, and what happens. Um, you know, I think they're where are they? Yeah, they're not looking to rush anyone up to the majors at the moment. They like their major league squad, but some of their minor leaguers will get challenged to play at higher levels this year, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Their minor league system's ranked 8th according to OSA. They got some good young talent according to OSA. So let them develop, right? Let them spend the extra year, develop.
yeah, and um I would be sliding in the DMs of every contending GM, especially anytime there's a pitching injury, and bringing up Archie Bradley. Because like if there's a pitcher who well, I guess you can't really you can't trade injured players, can you?
As long as they're
Can
not
you?
on the DL. Yeah.
Well, okay. Um, but if you can find a better bad short-term contract to take on, I would be trying to move Bradley for prospects as much as possible. That would I just like I would do it this year and try and get back arms. Now I know they were trying to get back, like they were trying to trade for minor league arms. I know that firsthand. I'm pretty sure that that's what they're going to continue to try and do, but I don't know who they move to do that. I'm not really sure who they would outside of Bradley,
What
who
about
they would move.
Eric Braun comes to mind. 23 lefty. Looks like he has good ratings. Just didn't necessarily put it together last year in the majors. If you find in Charlotte.
Ah, there he is. Yeah. Yeah, that could be a guy, and he could be somebody, um, you know, like, would the Mets say no on him? What his birthday was yesterday, same birthday as my girlfriend, you know, happy belated to Eric Braun.
There you go.
Um, he's 23 years old, so he's a very young 23 in terms of when the season starts. Now, for teams who are looking for pitchers, and I think it would be unfair to say, like, you know, let's look at moving him. Yeah, he was not good for the White Sox last year, but they were a not good team. Um, if he starts out not pitching particularly great, like you're in a tough spot because his value could go down. Um, so your return on, you know, on a trade might suffer. So do you just let him pitch, or do you, I mean, you're kind of in a tough spot with somebody like him. Because then
Exactly.
if he pitches well, then you kind of got to figure out, well, which version of him are you going to have long term?
Right.
And then do you trade? Because if you move him and he continues to be really good, then you kind of screwed yourself.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22 right now. If you trade him now, you're probably trading low on him because he did have almost a 6 ERA last year and 17 starts in Chicago. So is somebody going to offer you, top value for him? And then if he pitches well, how much do you get for him? And is it worth it in the future if he continues?
Now, the two things I do think work in his favor. He had 8.2 K9 last year, which is not terrible. It's something to grow on. And the last time when he was up in 2021, he had a K9 of 9.5. And the BABIP last year, he had a 358 BABIP rate, which tells me that there's going to be some regression to the mean. Like that's he was probably unlucky and the victim of a not good defense last year. I don't know what their defense was. That's I could probably look that up though. I don't know. But regardless, he is somebody who could be kind of a bounce back, or somebody who could turn a corner if their defense is better. Because good defense can mask a lot of pitching woes. Defensively, they look all right. They should be solid behind the plate. Where are they on the corners? They're pretty good on the corners, regardless of, well, I guess Wheelock's okay, but like Jacobson's really good. Kerr is above average. Stevens is above average. Nick Allen, when he comes back, is a excellent defender, and they're pretty decent in the outfield. So defensively, they should help some of these pitchers out, where last year it's very possible that their defense was not good, and that caused pitchers to not be as good last year.
All right, so
If
let's
any
start
of that
wrapping.
makes
Let's
sense.
start wrapping up the White Sox. So did they have any surprise teams for this upcoming season?
Oh yeah, okay. So they said, they decided to keep it local. They like the Cubs. And then they like the Yankees being a tougher out in the American League. And that both will depend a great deal on the presence of their GMs. Not throwing any shade, Jabs.
Yeah,
Not throwing
exactly.
any shade.
Not yet.
Okay. So I have their defensive stats from last year.
Uh-huh.
Now, this all by all divisions. I want to go. Here we go. So in terms of defensive efficiency, now why does it do this? This is fun. Okay, that was the Cubs. So they had a defensive efficiency of 694, which puts them in the lower third of the league. Their total ZR, not including pitcher. I don't even know how to read this thing. Okay. They were at a negative 2.94, which puts them again closer to the lower third of the league. They struggled at third base. They struggled at second base. They struggled greatly at first base. They were closer to league average to maybe league below average in the outfield. So overall, their defense was not particularly useful. They didn't have a lot of errors last year. And they actually did turn a lot of double plays, but it seems like either they might have been out of position on too many times, or which is on the coaching, or they weren't effective on routine plays. But this is the other one. Where Okay, that's the Cubs. So I wish it would show you like what the actual, like, there's two Chicago teams. Like it doesn't differentiate between the Cubs and the White Sox. They gave up 208 stolen bases and 290 attempts, which is not a good rate. I think with Ruiz, the pitching staff will also be better handled this year. Like Ruiz is a very good defensive catcher. So I think that's going to benefit their pitching staff in general. And that could be a way that they improve. So
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah. So I know that they had a bold prediction.
oh, did they ever?
They did. What was their bold prediction?
The Angels do not make the playoffs.
Now, he's going to throw some shade on Matt now, isn't he?
Gauntlet thrown down.
Exactly. So cool. So
I mean, I don't know that anybody outside of Houston in the AL West makes the playoffs. You know, I mean, because the Angels and the Mariners clearly imploded into a giant dumpster fire of each other. So yeah, neither one of them's going to make it. There we go.
well, there you go.
I don't
There's your
get doing
shade.
any of that. I don't get doing any of that.
No. So okay. So cool. So that's been all about the Chicago White Sox. Let's turn our attention over to the St. Louis Cardinals. Let's go back to the National League and talk about them a little bit and how their 2022 season went.
I mean, does he know? Does Zeta know how his 2022 season went?
I don't know if he does or not.
I mean, did AI write this? Who wrote this?
Ayden wrote this.
I don't know. I feel like he hired somebody to write this. So said it went well. I'm not even trying New Zealand. I'm not. I don't have it in me to try it. Like I would. I'd have to hear it first, you know, because I don't want to fall into like Australian, you know, and just be like crikey. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you don't
so he
want to hurt
mostly hung
another
back.
country's feeling.
I don't care about that. But you know, I mean, it's about but I just don't feel like trying it right now. So he mostly hung back, which is a good like for saying I was never around speak, and held off making moves, which is also another thing for like, you know, I was present once every 3 weeks. He lost Craig Cooper for most of the season, so being able to take division while missing out on their number 2 was something I was happy with. Which is cool because their offense was like a giant number 2 all season. So I just felt like making a number 2 joke, and I don't even know why.
There you go.
Looking at this, I'm not sure how was Craig Cooper their number 2. Like, a dude had one good year, and it was in Colorado in 2020, and outside of that, he's not been all that good. He's not, and he was not that good. He was okay. I don't think he's number 2 worthy in St. Louis. Like, yeah, he was performing well when he got hurt. Like at a .90 whip when he got hurt, but he overall, like the track record on him is, you know, if he's your number 2, you're hoping for a wild card spot. That's my feel on it.
Yeah, he had a 3.6 raw WAR and then a 3.7, 3.5, 4.0 from 18 to 21. But like you said, if you're relying on that to be your number 2, and you want to be a World Series contender, that might spell trouble.
Yeah, like that 2020 season in which he was really good in Colorado, he had a 264 BABIP. Like in St. Louis, he had a 102 ERA plus. Like he was barely average. And like, yep, his ERA plus was 155 last year. He had a 227 BABIP when he got hurt last year. 227. It's interesting. I mean, I know that the pitching staffs aren't finalized here as of October 6th or not October, March 6th. But he's currently in the bullpen. He's currently in their bullpen. Which I mean, I don't know how you want to take that.
I think he just came back from his injury. I think he just became healthy in the last few days because he hasn't pitched anything in spring training yet.
Which, you know, I mean, that's fine. It just maybe they're taking a look at him and say, you know, comparative to the rest of the staff, Maybe he's a bullpen guy now. Because he has excellent control. That's what he has going for him. He doesn't throw hard. He's a right-hander who throws 92 to 94. He doesn't hold runners on very well. He has average movement at best. He's got a great curveball. He's got a an okay fastball, but if it's flat, and his forkball is barely below or barely above average. Like he's a guy that, I look at him and I'm like, he's the guy you're focusing on. I mean, I don't know about him.
So if that was last year, he called him his number 2. What does he talk about for this year?
So this year, there it is. So this year he's got Jeffrey LeBlanc, Dave Smith, Kevin Comer. Comer's your homer. Was that Logan Gilbert? And then
Yep.
Cooper. Yeah. And then Cooper with oh, I hate having to do this. Okay. He really wants to get Jesus Luzardo in there. So he's talking about a 6-man. No, just kick Cooper to the side and start Luzardo. I mean, Luzardo has better stuff, the same kind of movement, but he's got plus on everything, and he's a lefty who throws harder. Cooper is your 5 at best here. And honestly, looking at Kumar Rocker, I don't know how Cooper starts opening day in the rotation. I don't like. I see 5 pitchers that are far better than Craig Cooper on this team as starters.
Right. And so Lazaro or Rocker as a number 5.
Or go 6 and pitch them
Or
both. Why not?
exactly.
I mean, like with Rocker, Rocker looks like he's ready and that he needs reps. I mean, he was in the bullpen last year and was fantastic. He was good. 2.81 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 135 ERA plus, 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. Maybe you decide that he's better as a left-handed specialist or somebody coming out late in the bullpen, but he's actually better against right-handers. Like, well, I guess that makes sense because he's a righty. I keep thinking he's a lefty. But he's really good. I think he deserves the opportunity to be in the rotation, and going a 6-man like they have it exactly right now, like LeBlanc, Smith, Comar, Luzardo, Gilbert, and Rocker. I'm not really sure how Cooper falls into that, take somebody out, and maybe that's kind of what they're seeing right now. What Ayden's seeing is like maybe Cooper's better as a reliever.
Yeah,
I just
and I
think
don't
with
know
that
if he's gonna,
diminished.
and I don't know if he's gonna get much takers on Cooper with a $12.4 million contract to pitch out of the bullpen. That's kind of an expensive if that's not your closer.
Yeah, and then that jumps up to 14.2 next season. I honestly, I mean, if he's productive, I don't care about 12 million in your bullpen. If you can make it work. It comes back to the whole thing. Like, I think Cooper's more attractive than Bradley because of Bradley's age, and Cooper's contract is shorter. But if this, like, what kind of return would you get on him? Like, I wouldn't mind if he's in the bullpen. I think he could be a fine bullpen arm. I don't see how he gets a spot in the rotation over the 6 guys that they have there right now. I like their rotation a lot. I don't like Cooper in their rotation.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm an idiot. Bradley's age, he's actually younger than Cooper. See, I was thinking he was 27 or 28, but he's 31.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, okay. I mean, he's going to be more he's going to be better off than somebody like, I mean, like Carlos Meza or, um, somebody just along those lines. But at the same time, like that, his fastball scares me a little bit.
And his bullpen, with his Roberto Osuna, Kent Kirk, Corbin Martin, if he can get to the seventh, eighth inning, it might be lights out. They've
I
been
like their bullpen a
performing.
lot.
Yeah.
And I like their starters, general ability to get to their bullpen. Kent Cook of potentially Corbin Martin. Uh, Corbin Martin has electric stuff and it plays well against both lefties and righties. Um, and Osuna, as much as I don't really care for him. Kurt Woods, he's a two-pitch guy, but it's fastball changeup. Like there's the opportunity to you know, um disrupt timing there. Like Victor Ortiz looks really good. Like there's a lot of good bullpen arms here to shorten a game if you really need to do that. Um, yeah, I like their bullpen a lot. I like their overall rotation. I just, if Cooper's a thing, that's a round peg in a square hole situation to me, and I wouldn't be on board with that one.
Yeah, so let's turn it over to their lineup and their hitters. We know we like their pitching staff. What about their batting order and their hitters?
So they don't have an order set up, but there are a few positions locked in. NLJ Rod is behind the plate. Um, and let me just pull these up. So okay. At or in the infield somewhere is going to be Augusto Candelalia. Third base can be Juan Espinoza. And then they have two outfield spots with Esteban Hernandez and Logan Tanner lined up. They have positional battles at first base, a couple other spots, but guys like Dion Hightower and Randy Maley are expected to make it as well. So, I like J Rod. I feel like J Rod, NL Rod could be um, a major breakout candidate this year. Like he's 27. He's hit 53 homers the past 2 years, 25 and 28. Yeah, his strikeouts went up a little bit, but so did his OPS, so did his WAR. His WAR went up full, from 4.6 to 5.7 in just 10 more games, 60 more plate appearances. I feel like he he's already in the conversation for best catcher in the National League. Uh, he could be somebody who's in the conversation for best catcher in baseball. That's what I think about him. Um, Now the rest of these guys, um, Esteban Hernandez. Um, I remember. Oh, what is this? Oh, I remember when this dude came up at 20, and you always were waiting for him to kind of really break out. And he had those years, he had 2018 where he led the league in on base percentage, and he had he hit 341 in 2015. Now, I mean, yeah, he had a 124 OPS last year, but he looks more like just a guy at this point. I'm if he's currently their number two hitter. um I'm not sure if he's somebody that I would count on to be like a huge contributor. Like I feel like if he were like sixth or seventh in the lineup, uh their lineup would be a lot more potent. There's a lot of swing and miss in this lineup.
And
There's a
and
lot of that.
Hernandez has been on 5 teams in the last 4 years.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that to me doesn't say anything about Hernandez, because I mean, just about every franchise in this damn league is a revolving door. It's incestuous the way teams trade with one another. Like everybody's their own cousin in terms of how much players come in and out of these franchises. So like I don't put that on Hernandez. It's more, people get trade happy and bored. And Hernandez just so happens to have had production in the past. And people might hang on to that. I don't think that'll happen now because now that he's 31 and he's going to be making 16 for the next 5 seasons, 27's a player option, but he's going to take that. His best years seem to be behind him, and you don't want to get on the back half of that contract. That's not a good. So I feel like he's going to be a Cardinal, and him being the 2-hitter, I'm not sure that's a great proposition.
And looking up and down Ayden's lineup, I would, his pitching is obviously the strong point of this team.
Yeah, and it's going to have to be. Like their defense is fine, but they're going to have their fair share of 2-1 games this year.
Yeah.
There's so much swing and miss. Like, Hernandez struck out 95 times last year. J-Rod, while he's blossoming, he struck out 122 times in 549 last year. Brady Vanderbilt, who's currently at first base, he struck out 110 times in Double-A last year and 143 times the year before that. JJ Bleday is, he struck out 135 times in 151 games. Randall Walker, oh my God. He struck out 18 times in 55 plate appearances last year. And he looks good, but he's gonna be like all or nothing. He's gonna be an all or nothing. Like I would make him a number 8 hitter and just hope for the best. Juan Espinosa's fine. He's fine. He also strikes out a lot. All of these guys strike out a ton, and they're going to do that here.
Yeah, his minor league system ranks just barely above halfway, like in the number 13. So he has a few people on the horizon, but I don't know if they have anybody there that's going to make an impact this year.
But he's not even sure. Like he's got Brady Vanderbilt as a guy he's got his eye on. He just from AAA, so he's going to be in AAA. James Hardy Jr. is currently in camp. He looks like a guy who will be a utility player, but not an everyday player. Who else is up there? Like there's Vanderbilt. Joe Yovan, that's a cool name. Joe Yovan's up there, but Joe Yovan's a dude who hit 234 as a 22-year-old player in Double-A, and struck out 108 times in 439 plate appearances with only 22 walks. I don't have a lot of faith in Joe Yovan, even as their number 3 prospect. I don't have a lot of faith in him being a player on this team, especially when he hasn't played above Double-A yet and will need time to acclimate himself. Everybody else here they're a ways away from coming up and helping. They're a long ways away. Chad Harris might be the guy who ends up helping him the most. He's their number 14 prospect. He's a 25-year-old third baseman who probably should be up. He probably should be up. He had 307 with a 827 OPS last year, 12 homers, 75 RBIs, 34 doubles. Yeah, he probably should be up, but probably not starting.
Somebody just showed up at my work, so let me pause and then we'll pick up in just a minute, okay? All right. Cool. Where were we? Harris.
We were hating on their players who aren't ready to come up. Yeah, Harris is gonna be somebody who should be up, but probably not getting the lion's share of the at-bats in the majors because I mean, unless you move Espinosa to shortstop, where that's not really beneficial for their defense. He's far better as a third baseman than Harris is just a guy. Like he's a bench guy. I think he's going to be a decent bench guy, but he's a bench guy,
Right. In
and
another
that's what you
year.
got.
Yeah.
No,
So
not
what?
even no, like no. That's just what Harris is. Like I don't think he's going to be more than that. It just he's on the verge of being a quad A player, and so he should be up on the roster now. Because I just think that's what he is. And I don't think he's ever going to supplant Espinoza,
No, I
but
don't
he
think
should
so
be up
either.
on the big league roster. He should be up on the big league roster. But that's it. Like I don't
Yeah.
see anybody else who
He is almost 26. I mean, looks
right,
like he's fully developed.
exactly.
What more do you need him down in AAA for? So what are
Yeah,
Ayden's
he's
expectations for in 2023?
um he expects him to be the top team in the Central Division again. Even though it's going to be a tougher division than people give it credit for. And thinks that Cincinnati is going to be dangerous this season too. There's a hot take. So he's going to watch out for them. So he's expecting to win the thing. He's expecting to win the division.
And what do you think about that? You think he's the team to beat, St. Louis?
Now I know that this isn't finalized, but the OSA preseason predictions currently have the Cardinals as an 18-game favorite in the Central. Finished with 87 wins, which would not get them. Is this right? It would get them the last wild card. But they would finish fourth in the NL West. Now, second place, they currently have Milwaukee, and they have the Reds currently at last. I don't know
It's
the
based a lot
Central
on it's
well
based
enough.
off a lot of the lineups and stuff like that. So a lot of
Yeah,
those teams don't have their lineup set.
right. So that would be fun. So looking at their off season, let's see. So Cincinnati added 8.1 WAR from last year, though a lot of that came from Felicio Roxa, who will always be near and dear in my heart in some of my greatest failures in the league. Gary Copeland, whatever. St. Louis lost 3.3 WAR, including one. Well, I guess said Rutherford experience had run its course in St. Louis. I was waiting to see when that was going to happen. I guess that happened last year. But he also lost where the hell? Oh, they just went down here. Lucio Cruzado,
Yep.
who pitched. I mean, he only pitched in one game last year, but he pitched really well in that game. I think they could have benefited potentially from having Cruzado. They just didn't resign him. But he was really productive. He's got excellent control. He's a ground ball pitcher. I guess he's only thrown 90. Okay, fine. I don't think I'm informed enough on the Reds to speak of them. I do know what I have seen. Like I do know the Reds have the potential to be the most electrifying team in MLB Pro. I wish I had a rock sound thing here. I would play it, but they have. I mean, have you seen this track team? Have you seen
Yeah,
like
I helped build that team before I moved
it's
over to Oakland.
insane.
Yeah.
Like the speed on this team is nuts. Um it's really uh like the Cardinals have the pitching, but they don't have much offense. The Reds have presumably the offense and absolutely the speed and the defense. They don't have much pitching. Like, so to that, I would typically lean toward the pitching. But I don't know on this one because like they have like the Reds have such good defense just across the board, like defense out the wazoo that it might, as I said before, like good defense can mask holes in a pitching staff, and they have some elite defenders. They have tons of elite defenders that they they really I feel like oh boy. I mean, it's such a weird dichotomy of these two teams
Yeah.
that like I want to lean with the Reds because I think their team's going to be exciting, and the Cardinals, I just they're going to struggle so much with hitting, I think, but the Cardinals pitching is elite, and out of those two teams, like the Cardinals staff is far and away the best unit between those two teams.
Hmm.
That I think if you were to do like a +2 to -2 scale on each of their things, um, you would get a +2 for the Cardinals pitching, for their rotation in their bullpen over the Reds. You would get +1 to the Reds on offense and um, defense.
Defense. Yeah.
And actually that might be close to like a 0. Like that oh, no, no, no. No, the Reds defense is really good. Um, but if you're getting a +2 on both the stat on the rotation and the bullpen, then it tips the Cardinals' way because that strength is so much greater than what the Reds have. Um, that I I could see it. I could also see the Reds,
This
you know, winning by 10 games because the Cardinals can't hit the damn ball.
gonna be interesting in the NL Central this year, isn't it?
I didn't speak out the Brewers. Like,
Brewers.
I'm not,
Yep.
I'm not really sure what the Brewers have. Um, I know they have some good pitching.
And
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 they
then you
do
got
have
the
some
Cubs
good
and Pirates.
offense.
Yeah, you got the Cubs and Pirates for the future. I mean, especially the Pirates.
Yeah, definitely not the Cubs.
No.
Definitely not the Cubs. No, no, never the Cubs. But yeah, I mean the Pirates should be better. I mean, I think the Cubs will probably be better too. So,
So is that a
um,
jab at Jabs?
always got to
Was-
jab the jabs.
So,
Yeah.
so who did Ayden think was going to be the surprise teams of this year?
How? Okay. So this is like I have to look up one thing because I remember this from last year. Okay, so how is an 84 win team going to be a surprise? Like, how would Cincinnati surprise people this year? They were leading the division in September, were they not?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
before
they
they
were all
faded.
battling. Yeah,
Um, so I don't see Cincinnati as a surprise. Ayden does. Um, because I guess he was off like bebopping in a park, skateboarding while the Reds were leading the division. I don't know. He also likes the Royals, which you know, I don't think anybody is going to be surprised by them because everybody seems to be predicting the Royals, from my
yep,
understanding. So,
yep,
including myself.
yeah. They've been a very popular pick this year. So, uh, but yeah, so but I see that division being tight again this year, the NL Central. So, what were some of Ayden's bold predictions? And you can, you know, leave out some of the colorful words that Ayden decided to use if you'd like, or you can say them.
Oh well, no, I mean, it's a quote. It's a direct quote, and
Okay.
I am not above reading. I mean, it's journalism 101. So he said, and this is the hottest take of the year. the hottest bold prediction. Quote, Rocky won't be an annoying asshole. I don't believe it, but I wanted to go real bold with that one. So Ayden didn't have any bold predictions and decided to just have it go at Rocky. Nothing changes.
No, you can
Which is
separate them in
nice in a way.
different leagues, and they can still go at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel like their podcast, nobody would understand either of them except that they were just insulting one another.
Yeah, maybe we should just
That
get them in a room and let them talk to each other, and then sit back with our popcorn and eat it and listen.
Yeah, but nobody would understand a word
Yeah.
they were saying.
Well,
Like and then they would also bring like, those giant head-sized spiders and probably some kangaroos and stuff. I mean, okay, so bring some kangaroos. Okay, I can get on board with this. I'm totally generalizing on New Zealand, Australia, but whatever. He also has a love letter to Matt. He wants to thank Matt for being really patient with him, as he's been pretty much non-existent around here as of late. Most GMs, no, actually commissioners, would have kicked him out for much less. So he appreciates him for being understanding. And also thanking you for doing these team previews. Good shit, end quote.
we got to put that.
No, not end quote. Miss you guys except Rocky, end quote.
Yeah, you got to make sure that he has to get that one last jab in there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
It's been all said before.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to go over this with me, so it's not just people listening to me the whole time. They get to hear your take on it also. And so
they probably got tired of my voice like 10 minutes in, like my students did today. So yeah, this was nice to let out a little steam after a day where I was speaking into a echo chamber.
yeah,
So
but you know what?
thanks
At
for having
least
me
with
on
this, at least with the students, they kind of have to put up with you, don't they? If they want to get a grade.
that. Yeah, I mean, and most of them do put up with me, but today it was very much like a Monday of March, but there's no excuse because it's not mid-March. Like we just came back from break like a week
Yeah.
ago. And a lot of them were like, Mr. I can't today. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, regardless. Thank you for having me and maybe I'll do another one of these if time allows before you're done with them.
Yeah, you just let me know. We still got some more teams that have submitted their questions. And so it'd be nice to have somebody else on with me to go through them. We also have some teams that have not submitted any questions or agreed to be on a pod. So we can also tackle those teams too, if you have time down the road.
I will totally make up things about those teams.
That's the whole thing, right? You can make voices up too.
Oh yeah, I will totally, it'll be a misinformation pod. It'll be fantastic. I would enjoy that.
Me too. I look forward to
So,
that.
yeah, that could be a thing. That could be a
All
thing.
right. So this has been all about the Cardinals and the White Sox with Comey and me, Scott Kessler, your Oakland A's AGM. So thank you for your time and patience.